As we scroll through YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, we see dozens of videos with titles describing someone's productive day in the life or completing my to-do list. We see morning routines with earlier and earlier wake-up times from 8 a.m. to 6 a.m. to 4:30 a.m. and night routines that follow the same trend. We see people during videos of becoming that girl who seem to be able to do it all and doing it all aesthetically. Waking up early, making green juice, working out, studying, perfect makeup, and the cutest clothes. We are bombarded with celebrities and social media stars who are around the same age as us and become so rich and successful at such a young age. How are their lives so perfect? For some, this type of content can bring motivation, inspiration, and enthusiasm to tackle their own current tasks and to-do lists. It inspires you to become your best self. For others, this type of content can be discouraging, leaving you with feelings for longing of perfection, yet the horrible feeling of never achieving them. Perhaps it sporadically gives you some transient motivation to do your best for a few days, even a week, but that feeling quickly subsides. Why does it feel like everyone around us is doing so much better? Why does it feel like everyone else is so motivated? Why does it feel like even though we're trying our best, it's never good enough? That's just it. It's just a feeling.
You like the freedom, but boys get lonely sometimes, and then we need them. Sometimes I've asked myself why, 'cause they're a pain when they don't think with their heads. Sometimes I wish I played the other team instead, but as much as we hate them through all the noise, gotta love them, boys will be boys.
Most of us assume that productivity is a good thing. The more productive we are, the better, right? And if that's true, then we should be doing everything we can to be as productive as possible all the time. That seems to be the conventional wisdom anyway, but I think that's wrong, and that we should look at things differently. Here's why. Firstly, because obsessively trying to be productive all the time is counterproductive. Rest isn't merely a reward, it's a psychological necessity, and if we never allow ourselves to let go of our work-related priorities and focus our attention in a completely different direction, we're eventually going to find work exhausting and intolerable. We're not going to want to wake up early to do our homework if more homework is all we have to look forward to later in the day. If we really want to be as productive as we can over the long term, we have to carve out space in our days for truly restful, non-productive activities that are uplifting and rejuvenating. And this brings me to my next point. There is more to living a good life than working and producing for other people. Human beings are not machinery designed to work as efficiently as possible for our whole lives until we stop functioning. Letting go of our attachment to hyperproductivity is what opens up space for leisure, creativity, friendships, reading for pleasure, and all the other things that make life worth living. We can't fall into the trap of measuring the worth of different things by how much they contribute to our productivity. Some things are just good because they're good for us, not for any other reason, and it's important that we all come to appreciate that. Spending time playing board games with my family might not help me study harder for my algebra midterm, but it's part of what makes my life worth living, and that's what matters. Let's pause to like and subscribe the video if you're enjoying it so far and hear a word from our sponsor. Thank you so much to BetterHelp for sponsoring today's video. Is there something interfering with your happiness that's preventing you from achieving your goals? I know I have a lot of difficulty with dealing with negative comments, and one bad thing uttered from their mouth could literally affect me for the entire day. BetterHelp will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed therapist. And you can start communicating within 48 hours. It's not a crisis line and it's not self-help. It's professional counseling done securely online. There's a broad range of expertise, and BetterHelp's network of over 20,000 counselors, which may not be available locally in your area. And the service is now available for clients worldwide. You can log into your account and send a message anytime to your counselor. You'll get timely and thoughtful responses, and you can schedule weekly video or phone calls, so you'll never have to wait in an uncomfortable waiting room like traditional therapy. BetterHelp is committed to great therapeutic matches, so it's easy to make changes to your counselors if it's necessary. It's more affordable than traditional therapy, and BetterHelp wants you to start living a better life today. Visit betterhelp.com/Rebecca, that's BetterHelp, to join the over 1 million people taking charge of their mental health today with an experienced professional. Special offer for my viewers, Rebecca J will get 10% off of your first month at betterhelp.com/Rebecca. Click the link in the description to check this out, and let's get back into the video. Lastly, an obsession with productivity is guaranteed to make us miserable, because when we tie our self-worth to our productivity, we always fall short of our own expectations. No one can work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But if we tell ourselves that we're only good and valuable people if we are as productive as we can be, then we're always going to feel like we could have done at least a little bit better, because no one is perfectly focused and on task all the time. We have to see that our value as human beings is not defined by our productivity, and that we can contribute to the world in all kinds of amazing ways. We can be kind and caring and empathetic and altruistic and forgiving. And none of these things require that we be at our desk 24 hours a day, working as efficiently as we can until we pass out from exhaustion.
Take me home, go down the road we know. Feel the wind as we're going. I like spending these moments with you.
Perfection is and always will be unattainable, and for that reason, not worth pursuing. If we hold ourselves to an impossible standard, then we will always end up disappointed. There's just no way around that. We will always be able to point to someone else in the world who is better than us in some way or another, and if we never allow ourselves to be satisfied with anything less, then how can we hope to be happy? Social media obviously makes this so much worse. It seems like everyone else is living such a great life, achieving success and fame so effortlessly, while we put in so much effort every day and we feel like we're failing half the time anyways. Why are our own life problems so much harder to overcome than theirs? What we fail to realize though is by going on social media, we're comparing other people's highlight reel, their best moments, perfectly curated to make themselves look as good as they can, to our entire lives, full of our mistakes, imperfections, and frustrations. The point is that everyone has a life full of these things. You just don't see, from the other side of a screen, the anxiety, the loneliness, and the fatigue. But that doesn't mean that it's not there. It just means that they don't want you to see it. We all make mistakes. We all make our own lives harder than we have to, messier than we would want them to be. But that's just part of being human. And the important thing is we learn from these mistakes. And if we can, try not to compare ourselves too much to others along the way. As John D. Kelly said in his article titled, "Your Best Life, Perfectionism, the Bane of Happiness," instead of pursuing perfection, let's pursue excellence. Because when we pursue excellence, we recognize that it's a process and that results don't come right away. We accept mistakes and learn from them rather than being destructive and overly self-critical, because we know that perfection is a fantasy and that taking care of ourselves along the way is just as important as getting everything right.
Far from this place. got my head out the sunroof. I'm blasting our favorite tunes. I only got one thing on my mind. You got me stuck on the thought of you. You're making me feel brand new. You're more than a sunshine in my eyes.
Motivation is really hard, and much of what life asks us is boring, tedious, uninteresting, uninspiring, exhausting, and just plain unfun. And when it's not even clear why we have to do certain things, then finding motivation to do them is not easy. But learning how to do so, how to find in ourselves the willpower to do what we need to do, even when we don't want to do it, is one of the most valuable things that we can learn. Now, I'm not going to pretend that I have all the answers here. On some days, I struggle to even get out of bed, never mind get dressed, do my homework, and go work out. I ask myself what the point of it all even is. If it's even worth doing my work when more is going to be assigned tomorrow. And while I don't always know what the solution is to this problem, I can certainly tell you what the solution isn't. Looking for external validation. How many times have we all fantasized about our success, thinking if we only had better grades or nicer clothes or money, then everyone else would like us and we would be happier? That sounds like something worth getting motivated for, right? Well, I don't think so. What I've learned is that trying to win over someone else is like fighting a painful, never-ending losing battle with the world. People's opinions change in a flash, and you can never count on anyone's favorable opinion of you to last more than a day or two. More importantly though, even if we did manage to gain everyone else's approval, that would never be enough to guarantee that you felt good about yourself. Until you discover in yourself a kind of self-confidence that doesn't depend on others' opinions about you, you'll never go to bed content with yourself as a person. And if at the end of the day you're not happy with who you are, how can you hope to wake up motivated to do it all again tomorrow?
Take my hand and hold it tight. Look at the paintings, I'll be your guide. Don't stop looking in my eyes.
That's what not to do. But what should you be doing to motivate yourself? Well, finding something that you care about and feel is meaningful can be a really powerful tool here. When you feel like what you're working on is important, not because you need to get it done, but because what you're doing really counts for something, then you're going to want to do it no matter how tiring and uninspiring the task. So take the time to ask yourself what really matters to you. Maybe it's helping out your community or making social connections or promoting a cause that's close to your heart. And figure out what you can do to work towards that, even if it's just a few hours a week. I can promise you that it will make a difference. Another strategy is to try and get excited about the future. It's true that thinking too far in the future can be frightening, but if you plan ahead and identify the goals you want to achieve or places you want to be, then every day you'll wake up with a good reason to get out of bed and get moving. When you know what you want to achieve and what you need to do to get there, then you can find motivation to do even the most boring task because you know they're necessary to achieve your goals, which will matter a lot to you. When you have clear and well-defined goals, no task is pointless as long as it contributes to them. And when that's true, then finding motivation becomes much, much easier. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it because I put a lot of effort into it. And make sure to leave a like and subscribe because we're really close to 90,000 subscribers. And follow me on Instagram because we're really close to 10K there as well. Be sure to check out BetterHelp in the link in the description. And that's all. Okay, bye.
Explain it at the coffee shop. I know you don't get it, but